And so our first author is Guy Giard. I don't know if I said your last name properly. He wrote the book The Courage to Love. It's a memoir or an autobiography about his journey from like childhood to adulthood, of like experiencing life, experiencing hardship and pain, and then finding tools to build a greater resilience internally, and also to like share light and insight and love and be of service to the world, despite sort of growing through really, really painful life experiences. It's a good sort of dive into understanding trauma and PTSD and finding tools. And it's actually really interesting that, I don't know if you know, that Dr. Patch Adams did a lot of work to put forward for this book, and is an important part of the clowning has become an important part of Guy's journey too, to finding levity and ways to like share with the world healing. So I'm going to get Guy to read a passage, and then I'm going to ask him a couple of questions to talk about love and resilience.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you. So yes, Guy Giard, thank you. Montreal born. Mm-hmm. Saint-Hyacinthe, which is just outside of Montreal. That's where my family grew. And my life changed about 10 years ago. And maybe I'll be able to share a bit about this.
Yeah.
And also, why am I dressed like this? This is actually, well, it's not from Japan, but...
Oh yeah, because you just did a book tour in Japan.
I did a book tour in Japan and a tour with Dr. Patch Adams. Mm-hmm. And this is Anpanman. Now, Anpanman is a superhero. Mm-hmm. He's a very happy person. So, and Anpan is actually a bread. This is the filled bread you have across different cultures. And his head is an Anpan. So it's Anpan med. And the way he helps people is he takes bits of his head and he feeds people with it.
Okay.
So
he feeds his happy bread head to other people.
Yeah, exactly. So, he's been my best friend as I walk on the streets in Japan, and I just make people smile, from children to parents to grandparents. And I think for me that's the best feeling, just to make people happy. Mm-hmm. So, my journey. So, shall I read a bit?
Well, I'm curious to know
Okay.
How did your life change 10 years ago?
Wow. Well, I got a new boss at work.
Okay.
Uh-huh. I don't know if you ever had a new boss at work, and his intentions wasn't for the betterment of the employees.
Okay.
He was hired to cut costs. So his aim was to get rid of everybody who has seniority.
Okay, so you just wanted to move everyone out.
Yeah, exactly. So he kind of forced me from I'm a teacher, I love teaching, and he was giving me an office job, 9 to 5 office job, as opposed to be around with people. So I quit.
This gave you an opportunity to expand your life?
To expand my life, and the first expansion was nightmares, and couldn't sleep anymore, and anxiety. Okay. It's like, oh my God, what have I done? I shouldn't have quit. Maybe I should have just kind of hanged on. But I followed my inner voice. I followed my instinct. And I refused to take any drugs to feel better.
That's good.
That wasn't my way. So out of despair, because I've always been very shy. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you can tell this, but...
Not at all.
I used to be very shy. And, but something in my head came about laughter yoga. Mm. It's like, a room of people getting together just to laugh. And I was at the end of my rope, so I said, okay, I'm just gonna go and try it. And laughter yoga, you get together and for an hour you just play. You make believe. You throw magic balls. You imagine elephants. You imagine music. You imagine dancing. And I felt so good that I decided right at that moment that I was going to become a laughter yoga teacher.
Nice.
And within 2 weeks, I became a licensed laughter yoga teacher.
Amazing.
Humor was such a revelation that I decided to write a book on the health benefits of humor. So I wrote to all the laughter yoga leaders, and I had to write to Patch Adams. So if you've seen the movies, the American doctor who brought clowns in hospitals and orphanages. And he answered me back a postcard saying, now that I've met him, I can imitate him. But it's like, oh, Guy, that's such a great idea. I love your idea. I love your book. But I travel around the world all the time. I don't have time to meet you. So you must come and meet me in Guatemala. Oh!
So you went to Guatemala for a month?
I'm not a clown. I don't speak Spanish, and I didn't like airplanes.
That didn't work very well.
That didn't work very well. But you know when you have a little voice calling inside you.
Yeah.
So eventually I said, I just have to do it. So I went for my first clown trip. It's a voluntary clown trip where 20 people from around the world. You don't need to be a clown. And we traveled together in hospitals and orphanages to give love. It was a challenge, but it's a challenge that opened my life, opened my heart. And this is one little bit.
Okay.
I choose to read.
Part of the story.
Part of the story. It's about a little girl called Yorbeli.
Yorbeli.
Yorbeli. And this is in Guatemala. So, let's see. On the third day, my suitcase finally arrived. And I was reunited with my toys, stickers, and most importantly, my fluorescent green parrot puppet, Jacko. Jacko became my partner in overcoming the language barrier. A squeaker was hidden in her orange beak, and she constantly babbled to the delights of the kids. That day, after a long bus ride winding mountain roads flanked by wild palm trees, we arrived at a massive red brick building. The Valley de Los Angeles School and Orphanage was home to more than 200 children. With short, graying brown hair, Father Michael, wearing a brown cassock, greeted us with hugs and smiles. The kids have been waiting for you all year. They're so excited, and I've prepared a special ceremony for you. Come. As he led us to the refectory, we could hear shouts of joy even before we opened the door. Payasos! 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 Which is Spanish for clown. As soon as they saw us, the children sang, jumped up and down, and proudly waved huge banners they had made which read, "Welcome! We're so happy you've come to visit us. We love you." A chill ran through my body and tears welled up my eyes at the outpouring of love. Jacko squeaked with joy as the children danced and recited poetry. When some of the children came over to pet her, I noticed a shy 6-year-old girl in her white and navy blue uniform with sparkling eyes fixed on me. Small and delicate with glistening black hair, she was mesmerized by Jacko. "¿Cuál es tu nombre?" What's your name? Her name was Yorbeli, and we played patty cake, and they all tried to catch me as I started running. Exhausted, in sweat, I sat down next to little Yorbeli, Jacko in hand. She helped me distribute stickers and explain, in Spanish, the different games I showed. What an amazing little helper, I thought. I took my journal from my backpack, sketched a map of the Americas, and pointed. This is where we are, and this is my home, Canada. They fervently wanted to write loving messages of their own. Take my heart. It's yours forever. Love, Erica. I love you, Lisa. You and me together forever. I love you so much. You are beautiful, Jolisa. Lo quiero mucho. Feliz viaje, que Dios lo acompañe, Yorbeli. They had so much love in their little hearts. Ding, 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 ding. When the dining hall bell chimed, it startled us. All the kids ran to the cafeteria except little Yorbeli. As I stood up, she grabbed hold of me, looked up with tears in her eyes, and said, No te vayas, no te vayas. I didn't need to know Spanish to know that she didn't want me to leave her. She burst out crying, so I picked her up and walked around while gently rocking her and whispering soothing words into her ear. I knew she couldn't understand me, but I hoped she would sense my care. Luckily, a staff member came and gave me a hand. Please tell her that we're only breaking for lunch and that I'll see her afterwards. Slowly, Yorbeli loosened her grip, so I gently bent down and let her join her friend. Sniffling, she gave me one last big hug and walked away, turning every few steps to wave and say bye-bye. As Jacko and I waved back with a smile and loud squeaking, my heart filled with love for that little angel. Then, all of a sudden, I felt a lump in my throat, and like a 1,000-ton weight had fallen on my chest. Teary-eyed, I could hardly breathe. This wonderful little girl is an orphan. At the end of the day, I can go back home to my family, but for her, this is it. She's going to stay here. Feeling hopeless, I spiraled into a dark void and faded into oblivion. There was nothing left of me but one final cry. I can't abandon her. A dazzling light suddenly shone from my heart as I thought, Yorbeli, I may not be able to change your world, but today I will give you all of who I am, to bring you joy, to bring you care, to bring you love. I was lifted from my void, and at that precise moment, I became a love clown. I looked up to this blue sky and embraced the sun, feeling that my inner light was in harmony with the outer universe. After lunch, Yorbeli came running over as soon as she saw me. Jacko cheered as she hugged both of us, almost falling to the ground. The rest of the day we ran, jumped rope, and sang, You are my sunshine. She surely is, I thought, feeling warm glow in our hearts. At the end of the day, the children accompanied us back to the bus, radiant with joy, laughter, and smiles. After one final hug, all the children held hands and serenaded us with a farewell song. As we drove off, I stuck my head through the open window and waved and shouted, "Farewell, kids! I'll never forget you. You'll always be in my heart."
Cute. So, what was the quiet claps? You can come in. What was the sort of intent when you were clowning at this orphanage?
The first time I clown, I was so scared because I'm not a clown. And I was even afraid of getting out of the bus
Right.
because I said, who am I to do this? I'm worth nothing. It's a funny feeling when you say you're worth nothing. Or you have no self-worth, self-confidence.
So you're building towards seeing your worth in the world.
And then while I was in the bus, I heard the sound of the kids running around and the laughing. And I said, I did all this traveling. I took the plane. I took so many risks to come there.
Mm-hmm. And you saw their value, even though they were just being...
So I took my nose, I look at it and I say, okay, this is it. And I just, step out of the bus. And there the first thing I saw was a kid, heavily handicapped in a wheelchair. Couldn't barely move. So I came close to him, and as soon as our eyes locked, I totally forgot about myself. And at that point, I was totally there for him. So now each travel is, I am there for the other people, for whatever they need. Sometimes they need to dance, sometimes they need to sing, sometimes they need a hug. I've been in situations where I just held a hand for like half an hour because that's what the kid or the parent needed.
Mm-hmm. What have you learned about resilience in your journey? What are the elements that are really important?
Resilience is, I'd say there's two elements. First one is finding your North Star. Finding your North Star. Finding your, you could say your dream. I like to call it your North Star. Use the word that you want. But it's
Just like your direction.
finding a direction that inspires you.
Mm-hmm.
And then resilience is when you have that North Star and then you fall down, then you just get up again and you brush it off. It's finding the force to that feeds you. So whatever feeds you, that's going to come back into resilience. So if you want to dance, you want to sing, if you want to host authors, this is resilience. When you do this, when you come to listen to us, this is your resilience. It's going to feed you.
Mm-hmm. What has your North Star become? Is it being of service?
My North Star is I really, really believe that life is a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And if you cut yourself, you heal. The only way you're not going to heal if you keep playing with it. If you take the crust away. Life is a gift. And my North Star is that we are here not so much as healers, but life is a healing project. Mm-hmm. So I see what's happening in the world, but like I say, don't let a human ruin your day.
Say that again.
Don't let a human ruin your day.
Don't let a human ruin your day.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that to heart. Yeah, so the other one was just the last question that I want to ask before I turn it over to everyone else is, have you noticed some like really critical elements that buffer and ensure that people are more resilient? Like I feel like you've identified like some dance, some laughter, some human connection are part of that helps like really build up people's resilience.
I feel
self-expression, perhaps.
Self-expression, well, it's taking care of ourselves. The more we give love to ourselves, the more we can give care to ourselves, the more we are giving to the outer world.
Yeah, the more we fill up our own cup.
Exactly, and I feel like I said, the universe is a gift, but it's a very strange gift.
Yes. It's very mysterious at times.
It's a very strange gift. I'll just finish with this, but it's a duality. And I know that sounds so much abstract, but
there's like incredible suffering and there's incredible joy and beauty.
And there's if you take a coin, there's two faces. Huh? There's a pile ou face. How do you say in English? Heads or tails. Yeah. Now, can you sand down the heads part to only have the tail?
No.
That's almost like Buddhist. What's the sound of one hand clapping? But it's not possible. You look at a battery. It's negative and it's positive. So resilience for me is the fact that life is a duality, but we are taught in schools, we are taught in everyday life to focus only on one side, which is the reality, work, sleep, money, business plan. I'm sure you have a business plan. Oh, I shouldn't have mentioned that. But I always bring, and I'll finish with this, to Martin Luther King. What's his famous phrase?
I have a dream.
Again.
I had a dream.
I have a dream.
I have a dream.
He didn't say, I have a plan. Resilience is when you have your dream, if your plan falls down. Whatever problems come in life, you listen to the news, right, but that's only half of the story. So I say to you, I say to all of you, have your dream and eat it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing and being here. So